Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 1 Point Safety Show. Myself, Scott Hartley, and my amazing co-host, who I miss dearly, Scouse Andy. How are you, mate? You all right, bud?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you doing, man?
All good, mate. I'm disappointed, even though, yes, I took my family to DC, which was great. I didn't get to spend enough time with you, but I know you were concert hopping and doing other bits and pieces. So fair
Hey,
play to
don't
you,
blame
man. It
me.
was a
Don't
good
blame me
time.
for the Monday, mate. Don't blame me for the
Hey,
Monday. You
I
you
know,
were ill
I
all
know.
weekend, bro. You
I
were you
was,
were
to
ill
be
all
fair. I
weekend,
wasn't.
so
I wasn't the best. Let's be
so
fair. I
I didn't
wasn't
want to
the
hang out.
best.
I was like, nah, mate, stay away. I don't want no illness. Don't know facts.
I know. We'll start. We start as we always do, buddy, with our sponsors, Dunstable Town FC's Talk of the Town podcast. Go ahead if you're into non-league football. Go and give them a watch and a follow and a like and a subscribe. Burrows is doing a lot of work on there, so fair play to him. He's coaching and all sorts now. So if you want a bit of an inside track of non-league football at Step 7, go and give them a shout. Also graciously sponsored by Oddballs. You can go to myoddballs.com. Go and buy a pair of pants with Scouse's face on it, or you might
Nice.
want to see my smiley noggin. Put me on your scarf or your
Definitely
socks or
don't
your
want that.
pants. But yeah, we'll be about. Also sponsored by Fusion Therapeutics, which is northwich-physio.co.uk. They provide expert MSK assessments and treatments with a focus on holistic care, dedicated to improving your well-being through tailored musculoskeletal plans. The team offer specialist injection therapy, non-medical independent prescribing. So if you're in the Northwest, Manchester or Cheshire area, give them a call on 01606 512 013, or you can book online and the team will be happy to help you further with this affordable treatment solution. Also, their red light therapy is top notch. It's one of them things that are out there that you may not have heard of. Go and check it out. Even if you Google red light therapy, really good stuff. So if you are in the area, please give them a ring and go and give them a ring and book yourself in to get some treatment done. Also, you can go across to bleedingburgundy.com. Go over if you want to look at some writing aspects of the Commanders. Lots of guest writers on there, speakers, so go and give them a shout. And you can also join the Pickham's pool each week over there. And that's our sponsors done, mate. So, yeah, all good. We'll get into it. Hiya, Rod. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you, mate. We'll go through a bit of news first to start off with. And the first bit of news we've got is the relocation to the RFK Stadium, Scouse. So yesterday it was confirmed the DC Council amended the bill. They passed the amendment bill at 11-2 on Wednesday, bringing the news that was the last step in the legislative process to allow the Commanders to build and get a stadium at the RFK campus. $3.8 billion deal set to redevelop the RFK Stadium, activating 180 acres of opportunity around the Anacostia River. According to the statement from DC Mayor Muriel Bowser's office, the redevelopment is going to bring 6,000 new housing units with a guaranteed 30% of them to affordable housing, whatever that is these days, and obviously 26.6 billion in redevelopment tax revenue, according to the council release from August. So massive investment opportunity for both DC, all the councilmen of the various wards, and obviously their areas, and for the Commanders to finally return home. That's it, mate. We've passed all these political hurdles. What are your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, man, it's a relief, but also it's a testament to the new owners to be able to get this done, because I reckon there's been like hundreds of you know minor details and minor deals about to do with so many different people to get this to
Yeah.
work. And I don't think someone like as idiot like Dan Snyder is. Even if they wanted to do business with him, I don't think he'd be able to get it done. Do you know what I mean? Where these guys know what they're doing, they've bent all backwards for them. And then the cheeky fuckers tried to renege, didn't they? In the very last
Right at
second.
the last minute, yeah. Right
Yeah,
at the
it's like,
last
you
minute,
cheeky
yeah.
little fuckers. And fair play to our guy. I can't remember the new guy's
It was
name. I can't
Mitch.
remember his name.
It was Mitch Rails. Yeah, he's the other
Was it
managing
Rails?
partner.
I saw
Yeah.
something saying you. No, was it Lance Newmark? I don't know. Anyway,
No, it was. You're wrong. It was the new team president. It was the new
yeah,
team president.
yeah. I don't know what that is. I can't remember his name. I don't know. But basically, had the ball to say, "Nah, you're all right, bro. Stick to what we agreed to a few months back." Do you know what I mean? So fair play to them to say, "No, we're not bending even more. We've bent enough, so no more for this shit." And they backed down, so that was superb. So yeah, man, really pleased. We should be in Washington. That's the whole point. Our name is Washington. A capital city should have an NFL team.
Absolutely.
So I'm very, very happy about it. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, absolutely delighted. I think leading into the draft in 2027 is going to bring so much money to the area. You know what I mean, to DC as a whole. I mean, imagine the mall being filled with people. It's going to be incredible when you see that. And we obviously walked it a couple of weeks ago, and it's, you know what I mean. I'm looking back at this and thinking that's what we need as a build up to say, yeah, this city can take exactly what this NFL franchise needs. Being in Maryland was never a good opportunity. Having like Virginia as our bloody headquarters and other bits and pieces, it's just higgledy-piggledy and all over the place. I don't know what they do, obviously, with the current site with Northwest and what we're going to do there. Maybe that becomes a training facility and they sell off Ashburn. Who knows? That's obviously for the future. We'll get to that, I think, a little bit.
I think the prime land's Ashburn, isn't it? I think that's it's worth a lot of money there. So it might be a case of selling that and then utilizing FedEx. Oh, I keep saying FedEx, Northwest Stadium as say potential training area, but also as a maybe like a memorial type thing, maybe some sort of Skins Hall of Fame type thing. I don't know, something that will at least bring some people to the area for once in a while. So I think that's what they're probably going to try and do with it.
I would have thought so, mate. Yeah, I would have thought so.
They'll probably sell a lot of the car parks off as well for land, and just and use it for building houses on it.
2030 is the opening. So realistically, 5 years out now. Well, not even 5 years out. I mean, realistically, we are 5 years away from starting. Spades in the ground by probably next year.
Yeah, well, I say it's all about. You've seen the pictures of the old RFK. It's all getting. Say it's about half demolished now. So, it's definitely, it's nearly on its way out. So that'll probably be another. Yeah, I reckon you're about right. Probably the start of the year. Probably you probably start seeing the foundations being built.
Do you realise that? I didn't. What I didn't realise was that they spent nearly $162 million on asbestos and other related things to take away from there. Wild.
That's why it was so
ridiculous.
Well, that's why nobody wanted to knock it down in the first place. It was so expensive to actually get these things taken down properly that no one was willing to spend $200 million on doing it. It's just a lot of money is being wasted just to knock down an old building.
Just to flatten it and level it and then go, right, we're ready to go again. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. We're getting to the next bit of news, mate, which is roster moves. And obviously we'll talk about the roster moves and a few other bits and pieces that have happened. Retrospectively, we're doing this. So also first, shout out to everybody who has listened, liked and subscribed. We apologise we weren't on last week. Obviously, I still wasn't feeling the best. Work's been kicking my arse a little bit as well. And, we just said enough's enough. We've been travelling. It's too much to just get straight on.
I got back midday Wednesday, so that's
so it's not an ideal situation, is it? So especially when you're traveling and jet lag and the rest of it. I mean, it's crazy. But roster moves, we have signed veteran running back Chase Edmonds, who's previously played with the Cardinals, Dolphins, Broncos, and Bucks. He was placed on IR, obviously, in August 2024 with a ACL. He is signed to the practice squad, not to the active roster, which is an interesting move. It doesn't move the needle for me, that at all. What about you?
No, it doesn't move the needle. I mean, I think it's useful to have some experience who's potentially available now that Eckler's gone for the season. So I understand the move. And he's been, and at his prime, he was kind of a half decent back. So, I mean, if you can get anything out of him, happy days. But as you say, it's not going to. I'm not too excited about it just yet, So
no, I know.
It doesn't move the needle, as you say.
And the other one that happened officially yesterday, I believe, is Preston Smith has signed as a free agent after being released by the Steelers at the end of the season. He'd previously obviously played for Green Bay. We know Preston Smith. We know what he's about. It was a Redskin from 2015 to 2018. Second round pick with us, and then we let him walk free and go to Green Bay. What are your thoughts on obviously Austin and Preston even? Picking him up, obviously, outside linebacker, stroke edge. Again, there's been moves, and this is the reason behind it, isn't it? But we know why.
Well, there's a lot of injuries, isn't there? I mean, we've lost the Patriots guy. What's his name?
Dietrich Wise. Yeah, Dietrich Wise.
Wise for the season, so it's a massive hole there again. Now, again, the difference is they're two different players, though, even though they're both DNs. It's still a different type of player. So he's Preston Smith, as we all know, he's more of a pass rusher, and can help with the run a little bit, but that's not his primary skill set, if that makes sense. So whereas Wise was more about setting the edge and trying to stop the run first, so there's a little bit. So we'll have to see how that works out. I mean, yes, now we've got another pass rusher, okay. But so that should be a slight tweak to the defensive system, I think, because obviously you got Von there now, and you got you've got a couple of other guys, as you mentioned, but these guys aren't like Baptiste and all. They're starting it for me. They're not doing anything for me. So I'd rather have someone who's experienced, who's done it.
I think Preston Smith moves the needle a little bit more for me. I think he does.
Yeah, it does a little bit
because we know
more than Chase. More than Chase Edmonds, but Will's right as well with Chase Edmonds. That he was also with Cliff, at Arizona, so he knows him inside out. So yeah. I mean, I say we'll see how it goes. I mean, but yeah, Preston Smith's gonna. I think he'll do quite well for us.
I hope so, yeah. So these are corresponding moves, basically, because Austin Eckler went to IR with an Achilles injury and is out for the season. I mean, we'll get into the reviews of the games in a minute, because obviously we've missed out on them. And Dietrich Wise, as we spoke about just there, has also gone to IR, season ending with a quad injury. So they're both season ending ones. Jonathan Jones was also placed on IR earlier in the week with a hamstring injury, but they haven't said that this is a season ender. They've just said we're just going to put him on short-term IR. So short-term IR is a minimum of 4 weeks. We're going to miss him for.
Who's that for? Sorry, that one.
Jonathan Jones, mate, cornerback.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Guy we signed from the Patriots.
Yeah.
Obviously, slot corner, maybe corner is probably one of them areas that we've got a little bit more depth than we think. But we'll get into that, I'm sure, because there's certain players that we need to talk about and work through. Injury report-wise, mate, this week I'll read it out to you. So we've got Trey Amos, was a limited participant, doesn't say or specify what his injury was. John Bates, tight end with a groin, did not practice. Obviously, we can talk about John Bates. He, from Dan Quinn's press conference, they've said that he is basically not likely to play this weekend. Noah Brown, wide receiver with a groin stroke knee, did not practice. Again, that's a bit of a worry. Brandon Coleman, tackle, shoulder, did limited practice. Bigger one, Jaden Daniels, quarterback, knee, did not practice, which I'm sure we will talk about in a second. Zachers was on non-injury related rest. Jeremy McNichols, hamstring, limited practice. Von Miller, rest day, vet rest day. Laramie Tunsil, vet rest day. And Colson Yankoff has a hip, and he was a limited participant as well. Shoulder injury. Thank you, Will. I appreciate you for Trey Amos.
How the hell does he get a bad hip getting off the bench? I mean, come on, fella. This guy doesn't play. How does he get hit?
Special teams, mate, innit? Special teams.
No, I'm not having it.
I know. So, what I think, if you're watching and listening, thank you for being with us. Like and subscribe. Don't forget to do all that good stuff. So we appreciate you. We'll review some of the games then. So the first one we'll review is the New York Giants game because we haven't been on. We'll do this fly through it very quickly. A 21-6 win. The streak continues, Scouse. I left the stadium with you shouting, the streak continues, high-fiving. Great time. Obviously, we both went out there, which was amazing. 5-0. The Brits have been in town. So if you're listening, Washington Commanders, please send us a plane. Cammy, you were not. You were not. Cammy and Egan, you were not a curse, which is great. Shout out to Freddie Ham. He's Hot Take Freddie on Twitter or X, whatever you call it now. He got us some really good seats in 135. There was a fantastic section. Really good energy. I loved it, mate. Again, was able to take my son Josh, which was pretty awesome.
Did he enjoy it?
To see that? Yeah, he did. He really enjoyed the game, mate. Yeah. He's just a quiet lad, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's So that's how he goes. But it was certain things like the Debo touchdown. I whispered and looked at him and he said, "What do you think of this play?" I was like, "This is coming up the left hand side for a Debo touchdown on the end around." He went, "Do you think so?" I went, "Yep, sure enough, there it was." He was like, looked at me like I was a genius. I was like, I've never called that before in my life. But no, what a good time, mate. We met up obviously Friday night, didn't we? In the Rocket Bar as always. It was a good time. I know everyone was tired. You were tired, but you were drinking well, which is a good thing. I think
that was a heavy night Friday. I'm not gonna lie.
I think Egan got you on there. Well, me and my missus said, "Oh yeah, we'll only go out for a few hours. We'll be there for a couple of hours." 1:45 we got in. I was like, "Cheers, Cammy, you're in the chat, so thank you for your company as well. Constantly,
Nice.
it was good crack. I enjoyed chopping up with Deluxe as well. Archie was out. It was great, man. It was great to see the usual suspects. Burrows and his Jaeger
cool.
bombs can bugger off though. Nah.
I say it's crazy over there because you get like nearly a pint.
It's in here.
Nearly a pint.
of-
You think, wow, you know.
It
So
was
yeah,
horrible,
you definitely feel it for 5 or 6 of those as well on top of the rest of the stuff we were having.
Cam went to the bar and he got my missus a vodka, bless him, and it wasn't his fault. He just said, "Oh, can I have a vodka and like lemonade or whatever it was? Oh, a vodka Red Bull it was." And he'd come back and fucking hell, I thought she was going to get like Red Bull poisoning. There was that much vodka in it. I was like,
Oh, right.
Jesus Christ!
You only get like a big can?
No, I know it was like that full. I was like, Christ, all right, fair enough.
Hanging off the edge.
Few sore heads on Sunday, mate. I think I did see photos of Cammy sleeping on the couch next to you. You were watching Red Zone or whatever you were watching.
Yeah, his head's like rocking back and forward, like
heads bobbing. I mean, it happens to us all. I got really ill with allergies, and I don't know if it was allergies or what was going on. I seem to get massive pollen. I don't know if it's just pollen, but I still got a cold now. Picked it up and just was whacked out for like pretty much the entire day.
Plane, probably.
Probably did, to be fair. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wouldn't know, but yeah, who knows, mate? It was. I really enjoyed it though. It's nice to be back home on it. It really was. What were your thoughts on the game then as a whole?
Yeah, I Cam. Yeah, I was chatting, set you asleep. Mate.
So Cam's put up in the chat for anyone who's listening. Scouse was chatting and it sent him to sleep. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Good.
Yeah. Whatever, dude. You know, nice, I am the entertainment. Mate. You know it. So what we're saying. So
what did you think? What did you think of the game as a whole?
It was okay. I mean, it was a decent, okay opening start. There's a lot of rust. You can tell especially from people like Jaden. You know, even his passes were like just slightly behind guys quite regularly, made the receiver work really hard to catch the balls, and obviously there's a few drops there. You know, defense was real. I was really impressed with defense. Really was. They shut down Wilson really, really well, and obviously them getting 37 points last week really shows that they can actually put points on the board. I know Dallas aren't great, but they can put points on the board, and we held them to no touchdowns. So that shows how good our defense was in that game. You know, I thought Wise, I thought Dewan Payne, I thought the D line was like out of this world. I thought it was superb throughout the team, and then obviously the DBs were holding their own as well. But yeah, I mean, from an offensive point of view, it was quite slack. I thought there was a lot of mistakes. You know, false starts. Fucking Mammy Allegretti getting involved. Fucking shit. You know, he shouldn't be in the team, man. And you know, it's just like, what else have you got, Wiley? I understand. You know, I understand the kind of quality you got coming in. But yeah, I wasn't too impressed with the offense. But I mean, like first off, I don't even think the tight end even got any. Like Zach Ertz got any ball. I don't think he had one reception.
I thought he was missing
in the first half. Yeah. And then the second half, he did a bit more thinking, and he played better in the second half in Green Bay. But in the first game, he didn't do a lot. To be fair, and I was just like, he's
then he gets a touchdown. You're like, oh, okay, there he is.
Yeah, he just steps over the touchdown. Yeah, it's like there was just a lot there that we just didn't really. We weren't clicking, but we did enough. And you know, and obviously happy days. We're happy with the 21-6 win. Definitely, I'll take it every day of the week if we got that every week, even if we weren't playing that great on offense. That is. Then I'll be happy. How about yourself, man? What do you reckon of it?
I did think when we got to the third quarter that we were kind of coasting a little bit here, and
we were taking it a bit easy, weren't we? Like kind of.
We probably had 2 or 3 touchdowns left out there if Jaden is firing and on form. But I said to you before, and a lot, and we on this show as well. We talked about it before we went. Terry's never got more than 50 yards in his first opening game of any season apart from his rookie year. So I didn't expect much from him, especially with the holding. I was impressed with Deebo Samuel. You know what I mean? I thought he played pretty well. No real issues from that. The offensive line held up to an extent. I get what you're meaning about the certain players that you're looking at going, all right, can we not just do a little bit better here. But it was a work in progress and a good win at the end of the day for the Giants game. But really enjoyable, sellout crowd, tailgating was awesome. I enjoyed the day. That's all it was. Do you know what I mean? We got away with the win.
Yeah.
5-0. Well, while the Brits are in town, can't go wrong, can you? You
true that, man. It's true that. Yeah, I think you're right with that, and I just was I say there was a lot left out in the field, and especially on offense, it just wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't polished, but it's understandable being that we're still using it. Jaden played like one drive in the whole preseason, and it was four plays, and it was 4 run plays, so never threw the ball. So I was like, well, how sharp really is he? And we found that he wasn't sharp. So.
And then Will mentions here would have had an 80-yard TD if Terry had
hit Terry. The deep ball.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but
I was cooked. He was cooked on that play.
I wasn't expecting anything from Terry. I wasn't even expecting to even play, to even start. To be fair, I thought he might come on a few plays here and there because I thought, well, he's not going to be match ready. No matter how much he's working out on his own or whatever, he's never going to be. Coming in there guns blazing. And as you said before, his opening games tend to be a bit shady anyway. But that's not always down to him. He's always got shit quarterbacks. You know what I mean? But with the holding, that was definitely, I thought, I wouldn't have put Terry in my fantasy team, put it that way. You know what I mean? Agreed. I would never have done that for this game. Or to be fair, I think it's going to take him 3-4 weeks to get back into kind of being sharp.
It could do. It could do. You're right. It could do. The
other thing Green Bay either. We'll probably go on to that in a minute, but
we will. The other thing I wanted to point out is Bill. I was quite impressed with Bill. Obviously, you know what I mean. Krosky Merritt. He was very good. I was excited. I thought, this is a great decision. I said to Kyle and Burrows and a few others in front of me, I was like, who was that? Who? Brian? Who are we missing? You know what I mean? When he scored his touchdown, and they were like, "Yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. I get where you're coming from with that." But then obviously week 2 hits, and it's like, "Oh, okay, have we now made a mistake?" Which we'll get into now. That's a good segue. Obviously, Green Bay Thursday night, going into it, thinking to yourself, we don't know what we're going to get. We're on the road. It's a short week. It's going to be tough, but at the same time, you're full of confidence and hope. And we laid an absolute fucking egg, mate. 27-18, and I'm being honest with you here. We were never in this game.
Yeah.
Even though we were close, we were never in this game. Never ever in this game.
Scoreline flattered us. I mean, and the thing is, when we even got that touchdown to get close, I think it was 17-10. I think it was at a point.
Yeah, it was.
And we were like, how the hell are we in this game? And they just went down, scored straight away. Like when they wanted to, they just were down, scored. So it was on them. They were just kind of, take it easy certain parts of the game. Their defense looks legit. Like even without Parsons, Parsons is taking it over the top over there, to be honest. I didn't expect it to be that good, but yeah, they made us look bad, like real bad. Jaden was running for his life. He got hit so many times. They really showed us up, man. They really did. And we were scared of Parsons. Even when Parsons wasn't on, it was like the offensive line still felt like scared, even though he wasn't even on the pitch, on the field, because he was on and off plays and stuff. And it's like, why is the offensive line not doing shit when Parsons is not even on the field at that point? Like, what is that? So it's an absolute nightmare, man. And say we just fell apart. Jaden was bad as well. I mean, let's say
bad.
Everyone was bad near enough, to be fair.
Will, I don't disagree with you. Them getting Parsons is like the Eagles getting Saquon. I genuinely think that Green Bay, and I already had this down, that they would go quite far in the playoffs. I had them down for winning the NFC North. I do think that they're a good side, and I think this has probably tipped them over the edge. I mean, Van Ness was class. There was loads of them that were really good. I mean, who expects a career game out of fucking Tucker Kraft? I mean, come on now. What is going on? But the shell defense did it for them. We couldn't cope with it. We just could not cope with what they were doing. I honestly don't think there is any person in that entire game who can come out with any credit whatsoever. Maybe Debo a push because he had a really good run back for on a kick return, and he had a touchdown.
I think that's where our best place was special teams. It was actually punt return, kick return, as in our coverage. So they were always starting at like inside their 10, like nearly every time, but they were just driving down the field. You know what I mean? And they were just getting 94-yard touchdowns, over a drive. And you're thinking, come on, we weren't able to do anything. But Tresh was put exactly where it should have been, and our guys were getting there and tackling the right times, making tackles in open space. So that was our best part by far. Was basically our punts and kind of our kind of coverages and stuff like that on punts. That was our best part of the game. But the rest of it, yeah, forget it. It just wasn't there, man.
It wasn't. Rod's right with what he's saying here. Didn't surprise him. He's saying after what the Packers did to the Lions reminded me of the first Eagles game last season. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they put a lot of points and they dominated the Lions. And then you look at the Lions last week and they're putting up 50 points. You're like, holy shit, which Lions are we going to get? And then it's the same. Which Commanders are we going to get? Which Lions are we going to get? Everyone's starting differently.
But the difference is there, if you're going to compare us to the Lions, that Lions have got a brand new offensive coordinator, brand new defensive coordinator. So we didn't know what they were going to be. Yeah, they got talent, but you didn't know how good they were going to be. And then with us, we still got the same dudes. So why the hell are we playing a lot worse than what we were last season? That makes sense. I guess I understand me taking on a good side in Green Bay, but we got shown up, man. We got shown up badly. And Will mentioned there, I was just going to say it myself.
That's exactly where I was going.
We got out-coached as well, which is rare, really, because DQ's normally on the ball. So but we know Joe Witt's kind of a coordinator anyway.
And we'll get into
even
that.
Cliff was struggling, man. Like, it's like, mate, this is just not good.
So Simon's put us a question in on that towards the end, so we'll get into that a little bit later. But Will is right with what he's saying. Single man high coverage all game, even though Lattimore couldn't run with the pre-snap motion, leaving his man wide open every play. Yeah, I mean, do we have to talk 100%. About? Should we
Lattimore
talk
was getting
about
abused, wasn't he? Lattimore was getting abused, man.
Because it's not. I don't think it's all on Lattimore, but he's not impressed me at all since he's come in.
He definitely didn't impress him not in the Green Bay game because he got the pre-motion stuff, and then when he realised that he was the man, when we were playing man, you could see like he had to cross the goddamn field.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they would just use, okay, well if you've moved over here, I'm just going to throw it there where he's just come from, or Lattimore was giving him 5 or 10 to try and actually so he can close the gap as the ball gets
sitting so far off the.
But that was it, wasn't it? Yeah, it was well play called and drilled by Green Bay.
Absolutely, Matt LaFleur's offense.
I think we should have done with us. That should have been Lattimore saying, "No, you've got it, Amos, or you've got it, whoever." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he stays on his side. Don't be following these dudes. I mean, I say it's only what was it, Wicks or Dobbs? Yeah. Dobbs was it whoever was killing us on that side? Wicks. And it was like, mate, just stay on your side.
Dontavian Wicks.
Yeah,
I mean,
like, man, like he didn't need it. He didn't need to do that. But look, man, no, it's yours, Amos, it's yours. And then Lattimore stay where he's meant to be on that corner on the other side.
But the coverage was so off. Like 5 yard split, like you were saying, the coverage was so off. And we're supposed to be a press man corner, which is what we've got him in for.
But we weren't playing press man, though. I mean, we're playing man, and then he was off by 5 or 10. And then by the time he gets there, the guy's already got 10 yards, you know what I mean, before he tackles him. And they were playing it. Fair play, tip my hat to Green Bay for actually working that out and actually really, really isolating Lattimore on his own because he was isolated a lot because he moved him along all the way through. They knew what we were going to play. It's like they knew that we were going to play man a lot, and it just didn't make any sense. When we tried to play zone, we got killed in the middle again. So I was like, Do
you still have confidence in Lattimore? Because I tell you what, I'm a bit shaky here. I really am.
The thing is that most corners, if you get one-on-one all the time, eventually you're going to get burned. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course you are. That's the aim of the game,
if you're scheming against a certain corner and you're picking on them, they are going to be kind of, oh shit, you know what I mean? And then at times they are going to get burned. That's just how it works. I mean, am I giving up on Lattimore? No, but he wasn't good. No. But again, none of them were good. I mean, Amos did okay to a certain extent, especially in coverage, he's quite good. But in general, we still got burnt toast across the field, man. So
Will Harris getting run over by Tucker Kraft, you like?
Yeah. Oh, who was he tried to put that? Was it Amos tried to put that tackle in on him?
No, it was.
And he just ran past him.
It was Will Harris. Yeah.
Are you sure? Because I'm sure Amos tried to put some fake shoulder in, and he just bounced off him. And Amos went flying. I was like, mate, what the hell is that? What kind of tackling is that? You're going to put yourself in there, man.
It was
doing this little half-ass shit. You're going to get hurt. That's how he hit his shoulder. That's probably how he hit his shoulder, Amos.
Yeah, Amos got ran over by Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, that was it. Yeah, the fucking quarterback ran over him. I was like, come on, man.
And that's how he hurt his shoulder.
Fucking take him out. That'd be funny if a quarterback's on the run. You take him out clean. Like, just take him out. No, you're not going to run again, boy. You know what I mean? And that's just how it's supposed to be. That's what they did to our guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Hip drop tackle. You know what I mean?
The hip drop tackle, that's what knackered up Jaden's knee. Are you going to run on us? No, we're going to hurt you. End of story. And it's like, that's how you do it. No, you shouldn't do hip drops, but you know what I mean? Like,
and then,
defense, you want to hit the guy.
There was the follow-up one there as well, where he got spun over, Jaden, and it's like, okay, like what is happening here? I mean, we're gonna have to talk about it, obviously, Jaden Daniels, and how we feel about we'll go back to the injury report when we preview the Raiders. I don't think anyone comes out of this with any credit whatsoever. Coaching staff, time management was awful. That's on DQ. Then we've apparently got someone, I can't remember his name now, who does all this time management shit, and it's like, hang on a minute, what? Yeah. Ian's right. We'll get into that a little bit later, Ian, as well, because we've got a question around this.
Simon. The one before the off. Oh my god.
But,
the one.
Just ridiculous.
What the hell are you doing? That's rookie stuff, man. That was rookie stuff.
So wide receivers, yet you're right. Couldn't get any separation whatsoever. Joe Witt. We have to have a conversation about Joe Witt now. I think we genuinely have to have a conversation about Joe Witt and say what his seat was, in my opinion, was getting hotter from the end of last season. Is he on the hot seat now? Because I can't see how he lasts the season if it carries on.
Exactly. If it doesn't get better than what we saw Thursday, and I'm talking a lot better, he will be in the next few games. He probably will be out. And DQ will have to actually be the coach for the defense, because at last year, DQ was still kind of like, oh yeah, it's DQ's defense. We know it wasn't, but it was kind of in the media that way, and DQ was happy to take that. So it was basically protecting Witt, his first job, etc., etc. Now it's like, no, mate, you need to fix this shit now, because like otherwise you're going to be gone, and I'm going to have to do your job until we get somebody in later. You know what I mean? And it's just. I mean, it hasn't been good, man. It just hasn't. It was good. First game was good, but again, I'll go with the Giants. My biggest thing about Joe Witt and DQ at the start actually was they said that their biggest thing is going to be turnovers. How many turnovers have we had so far this season?
0.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. So what's that? We're not even knocking fumbles and like, okay, they're recovering, or we're not doing anything like this. Like we're not. That's what they prided themselves on. They were going to come in and we're going to take the ball away. Ball is life, all this stuff. Mm-hmm. I've not seen it. I've not seen us actually create anything on defense. Yeah, I mean, tackling at times and defense against Giants was okay. It was good, actually. But again, no turnovers in that game. We just held them. This game, we reacted to turnovers.
Couldn't probably should have.
Shocking.
Could and probably should have had turnovers in the Giants game, to be fair. But it's always. But you can't look back on that and say coulda, woulda, shoulda.
But we didn't create any. That's what I'm trying to say. We didn't create, even though you're saying it, and that's what they stress. And you must be able to get, like, for example, like I mean, I don't like the corner Diggs, for Dallas. He gets toasted so many times, right? But I tell you what, he comes up with interceptions because he's aggressive on the ball. So okay, if you've got a corner that's like that. You got to accept he's going to get burned at times because he's actually being aggressive to try and get interceptions. Yeah, our guys aren't even trying to get interceptions. You see what I mean? So it's not there's not that aggressiveness in the DB side of it. Now again, that's obviously on scheme. That's not on the players. That's on the scheme of what they're trying to do. But they're telling us we're after the ball. We're going to be flying after the ball. We're going to try and make turnovers, and we haven't made shit. So for that, a big F for me at the moment from Joe Witt. They've got to fix it, man. They've got to fix it quick.
I thought this was the first time looking at this game. The first time,
he wasn't he, Ward? Joe Witt was narky at the presser today.
He was indeed. Yeah, he was indeed. Yeah. It's the first time in a long time that I've looked at this team and thought our linebackers were terrible. I thought Luvu had a woeful game, and Wagner just didn't look capable. He looked his age against Green Bay. Gonna be honest with you. He looked his age, and I was like, "Wow, okay, has it caught up now? Do you know what I mean? Where are we going to go?" And we have an old team, which again, we'll get into a little bit later on. But yeah, no one comes out of that game with credit. Let's just put it to one side, park it, and say that's done now, and we move on to the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to. Yeah, I think you've got to punish the players with like a couple of days of watching that. All day.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I mean, couple of days, you're watching it all day. You're watching all the shit that you produced on this field. I'm really like, oh, for fuck's sake, gonna watch this again. Yeah, you're gonna watch it again, because they need to wake up, man, and Witt needs to wake up big time as well. It really
Agreed.
does.
Agreed.
And this year we will miss panicky type underthrow for Lattimore to get picks. Yeah, but the thing is that Jordan Love hasn't got a rocket arm. Jordan Love,
no, he hasn't.
With just these little floats, these little kind of pass plays.
Dink and dunk.
Yeah, and when he was throwing it even like intermediate, it wasn't like zip on it. It was just kind of like a nice flow to kind of touch pass regularly. Like, so that should be easier to hit with an interception as such rather than like a bullet pass, But it's just like, yeah.
I've got to be honest with you though. I thought we ran into a buzzsaw that was Green Bay, and I think they're going to have a very good season. I really do think they're going to have a very good season.
They should have a good season. And don't forget, didn't Green Bay get rid of one of the was it Jair Alexander as well?
Jair Alexander, yeah, they did.
Yeah, he was the top corner. Got rid of him as well, and their defense looked better without him. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like it's just good stuff from Green Bay. But yeah, we were just gaff, mate. Louisville's been disappointing both games. He wasn't that good against the Giants either.
Yeah, I thought so too.
If you're going to use for the pass rusher, you never got to the quarterback. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Will's right. He's diving into everything to try and get a big hit and make a splash play, and he's missing tackles.
Exactly. You got to wrap up, man.
You've got to wrap up. This is we all know that. This is how we train rugby. We play rugby. This is how it works. We know how that works. Form and tackling is the fundamentals of any contact sport game. Mm-hmm. Anything. Exactly. That's what you.
These hit stick hits just don't do the business.
Lowering your shoulder,
real life, they bounce
your
off
helmet.
You.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
in real life, they bounce off you. It's not like in Madden. You hit stick and it causes a fumble every time. Nah, it ain't gonna happen like that. These guys are bouncing off people, and you're gonna try and lay the wood. These guys jump over you. You know what I mean? Like, somebody's running back to jumping over dudes. And
Saquon's doing it backwards.
Yeah, I see what I mean. So when you're doing stupid things, where you're just launching yourself at a guy, no. You make sure you stay with him, and then you go and you wrap him up. That's what you do. You don't try and take his head off, because you will just try and move out the way. And most of the time, they do spin out the way. They're very elusive, and this is why it needs to come back down to, say, the fundamentals. They've got to start drilling that again and saying, look, man, fuck the big hit. Let's just get him to the floor. If he's coming towards you, just get him to the floor. And potentially, peanut punch it out, maybe something like that, more than trying to throw his helmet in or big shoulder or whatever. Just fucking fundamentals, man.
So we'll preview then the Las Vegas Raiders this weekend. Obviously, things are changing for the Commanders. How do we get back to winning ways? They are 1-1 and second in the AFC West. A bit of consternation this week about Tom Brady as well, which I completely understand, because he is obviously able to sit in. Yeah, he's able to sit in the coach's booth, apparently with a headset on, not being able to talk to the team. All right then. Yeah, who's monitoring that? Yeah, what pisses me off is he's just sat and watched Green Bay play us in the analyst booth, talk through the entire game, watch it game for game, word for word, and then go back to the Raiders and say, "Hey, this is what I saw."
Yeah, and don't forget, he also had all access passes as well. He was on the ground, he was on the pitch before the game started. He had all access kind of in the back room. He knows freaking everything about us. I think that's a bit naughty that he's allowed to go over and do the Raiders game. Of course you could. We all know that he obviously is part owner of the Raiders, so there's going to be an element of that, and plus he's doing his commentary job. But don't let him he can sit there on game day. You know what I mean? It's just like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's just craziness, man.
So the way the Raiders have started their season, they beat the Patriots away 2013, and then they lost the Chargers 20-9. Draft picks this year for the Raiders, obviously Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State, which is a great pick in my opinion. Jack Besh for a wide receiver out of TCU is a pretty decent player. Darren Porter, cornerback out of Iowa State. Caleb Rogers, tackle out of Texas Tech. Charles Grant, tackle out of William & Mary. Dante Thornton Jr., wide receiver out of Tennessee. A DT out of South Carolina in the fourth. JJ Pughs from Ole Miss, DT. Another wide receiver a little bit later on. Tommy Miller in the sixth. Cam Miller in the sixth, quarterback out of North Dakota State, and Cody Lindenberg, linebacker out of Minnesota, who is actually in the seventh round, which I thought was a very good steal of a pick. Obviously, looking at their depth chart and roster, players we need to be aware of. Obviously, Geno Smith there now. Pete Carroll coaching the Raiders as well. Obviously back from his time with the Seahawks, had a year out and has took the job at the Raiders. Geno's there. Then it's Kenny Smallhands as the backup quarterback. Ashton Genty, Jacoby Myers is a decent wide receiver. And then you're looking at Brock Bowers, I suppose. He's obviously their other weapon on offense. And then when we look at the defense, it's all about Max Crosby, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
So,
yeah.
Tough sledding, I think. But what do you think about the Raiders? Do you think they're going to be a decent enough side, or are they going to be a middle of the road team?
I think they'll be middle of the road. I think they say they've got some good players. I mean Bowers. A fully fit Bowers would destroy us. I mean, he's not fully fit. I think he's like questionable to play, and he might not even play. So. That'll definitely help us if he doesn't play. I tell you that, because you got to rely on Michael Mayer, who unfortunately I was really high on him.
I was quite high on him as well when he came out. I thought he was
decent. He's just done nothing. So for me, I'd be quite happy if Bowers doesn't play this game or he's on a limited snap count, especially the way Kraft killed us. Yes,
he's questionable, isn't he, for the game? So,
Bowers, yeah. So, but I'm hoping that he's just not there, or he's just he's on a limited snap count where he's not really producing much. But yeah, I mean Dante Thornton as well. He's their speedster, isn't he? He's like isn't he like 6'4", and he ran like a 4.3, something like that in the combine. It was crazy.
Crazy.
I was thinking, damn, that's good. So Will mentioned here, he's the rookie receiver who starts. Beck is the guy on the special teams for now.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. It was so Bowers here. It was the same injury last week, but he already played through it. Okay, but then the thing is, he didn't do much last week either, did he? Because he was, he was struggling a bit. So hopefully he's still struggling, and if he does play,
so we've got to get into it, mate. Obviously,
I think we're favourites. We should be favourites. I think.
Offensive line. Do you stick with Coleman, who's had a rough start to it? Obviously, a murderer's row of edge rushers that have come up. I mean, you got to
He's also got a bad shoulder, hasn't he? Didn't he say he was out? He was struggling with shoulder.
Not Brandon Coleman. Sorry, Connolly is what I meant to say. Connolly Jr. Josh Connolly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think. Does Crosby play his side, or is he mostly on the left side, as in our left side? So their right side. I'm just trying to think of whereabouts he plays. I don't think he switches too much. I think he stays in one place. But if he's up against Connolly, you've got to change that quick, because we haven't got John Bates available either. Obviously, we know how good a blocker he is. So yeah, we just need to be kind of on the ball with that. I mean, if they are going to get Crosby moving across, then maybe Connolly has to come out, because even double teaming ain't going to be good enough, because Allegretti's next to him, and look at the state of him. Do you know what I mean? So it's it's not good, man. It's not good if that's where Crosby's going to line up against Connolly.
Do you think that we need to try to go back to? I'm not saying let's just take him out immediately for Wiley. But do you think we need to go to maybe like we had with Brandon Coleman last year when he was at tackle, and we had the Cornelius Lucas Coleman? The
potentially
count.
I mean, of course, Connolly's struggling, but you got to respect it to a certain extent. To say he's a rookie, and he's been taking on good quality pass rushers, So.
And he's moved sides as well. So imagine going, do you know what? I'm a left tackle. I do everything this side. Now I'm going to do everything with my other hand. It's like us going, well, I'm right-handed, but now you do everything with your left hand.
Yeah, yes. Now you got to start writing your name with your left hand. Exactly. Yeah, it is. It's a big change. It is.
Massive change.
Especially for a rook as well. So you're actually coming up a huge level. Goes to the NFL from college, and then by the way, I'm flipping it to the other side, and it's just like, okay, so it's like double the amount of effort. So I can understand he's going to struggle, and he'll probably struggle for the first half of the season, probably. You'll probably start seeing him getting better throughout the end of the season if he doesn't get hurt, And
you hope by the time you get to that Cosme's back fit and can give him a bit of support inside, which is kind of where you want to be, But it is going to be tough. But we have to, I suppose, bring up the elephant in the room, if you want, for want of a better term. Jayden Daniels, obviously questionable with his knee. You being in the field that you're in, as basically a musculoskeletal doctor, for want of a better term, that is what you are. You said to me immediately, that's a PCL injury, all day, every day. Do you still believe that is a PCL injury of some description?
Yeah, from the mechanism of injury, yeah, I would go with that. The way it happened, the way his knee kind of was like thrusted up, the guy was on top of him and twisted him a little bit. Yeah, I think it's a PCL. I mean, if it was a full ACL, if it was a partial ACL, you're not going to be going limited. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, no, he's out. Do you know what I mean? So, and he came back into play. So, PCL you can get away with to a certain extent, but the thing is with like any of these ligaments, especially ACL or PCL, is that yes, if you had to choose one to get hurt, it would be PCL. Yeah, that would be that. So that's a good sign, I suppose, in one respect. But what happens with these ligaments is that they don't heal. Those ones don't heal on their own. So a partial tear on a PCL, unless you're like immobilizing it for like 12 weeks, which you're never going to do that for an athlete. You're never going to stick someone in a brace for 12 weeks, as in like a rigid brace, you can't move. You're never going to do that. So that is never going to heal. So what will happen is they'll keep him. They'll making him play. They'll continue to play him because he feel okay to play. At certain times, besides pain, it'll be painful. But then they'll play him till it snaps, and then they'll repair it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I know. What you mean,
because you can't go in there as a surgeon and go, I'll just sew half of it.
Sort the fibers back out. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. No. You've got to basically rupture it, because when they do it, they don't actually put them back together on their own anyway. What you do, as you take a graft from somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Normally hamstring or quad tendon, depending on what's happening, and then they put it in, and then they sew it high. What they actually basically connect it. They bolt it to the actual bone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
So there's no, I'm going to sew this little bit, or I'll sew this half a bit, because it'll just snap. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a waste of time. So you don't even go in. So doctors are saying to the scope, nah, we're just waiting. Just keep playing on it until it goes. Do you know what I mean? And that's basically what
it's funny, isn't it? It's like Jeremy Reeves has been playing with a partial torn ACL for over 18 months.
It's crazy that he's been able to keep that still going. Because I mean, I've seen loads of footballers do it as well, partial ACL tears, and it's like, they feel a bit unstable. You obviously work on all the control aspects, strengthening up all around, hip, knee, hip, all the rest, control, which is probably what Revo does. The reason why his knee's still so solid, even though he's got, say, a weakness in his ligaments, and it hasn't snapped on him yet. Do you know what I mean? Because I mean, so sometimes you can get away with it, but 9 out of 10 they go at some point.
And as a guy who's done ACL, MCL, PCL, I get it.
Yeah, you've done a whole lot, haven't you? So so
Well, the only one I had was lateral, collateral.
Reeves had surgery. Did you know Reeves had surgery? If it was if that was to repair it fully, because
it must have been.
They don't do partials, mate. You just don't do it. It's just.
You're adamant it's a PCL injury.
I'm thinking it's a PCL from this mechanism of injury. I think, you wouldn't. I don't think you'd play a guy on a partial MCL just purely because of the risk of actually blowing the ACL at some point with playing.
Yeah,
I just don't see that. I just don't see him risking like a Daniels on that. Do you know what I mean? So, because they're saying that he could play potentially, but with a brace. Now, if you're getting a brace on there, look at RG knee. This is an RG knee problem here again, isn't it? Get a brace on, let him run around. No, and that's what I was saying, right? That's what I was saying about kind of looking after the merchandise. Jaden's the merchandise, and what do? We let him run around like a fucking madman, and then what happens? He gets his knee torn off. So this is the problem, man. No matter how strong he is, he's still very thin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and these big guys, these 350 pounders landed on him. He's going to get hit.
Deluxe says, could it be a bruise?
I mean, it's just. I mean, bone bruise
tear, maybe.
I mean, a bone bruise is very painful. Yeah, I mean, they're very painful, but they're not serious. But they can take a while to settle down as well. And that would be a pain tolerance thing. What can you handle? All the rest of it, with the skin of the bone, the periosteum actually being bruised itself more than, say, a tear or a ligament or whatever. I mean, potentially could be bone bruise, but again, just from the mechanism of injury, it just looks like, But this is it. I mean, this is what making here is. The looks kind of said there's no structural damage. Yeah, but the thing is, mate, what did he tell you about JD with his ribs last season? Oh yeah, he just got a bit of a rib pain, bit of a rib injury, a bit of a cartilage problem. No, he broke his fucking ribs. You know what I mean? But he didn't want to say anything. So they're going to say the same thing about Jaden right here, aren't they? Oh yeah, he just got a knee sprain. Well, what's a sprain? A sprain's a partial tear, or something. So they're not telling you what ligament, sure, but they're saying no structural damage. Well, if it's a sprain, then he's torn something, at least partially. Do you know what I mean? So we just don't know which ligament because they won't tell us. So this is why, for me, it's like I wouldn't play him in this game. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
I'd make sure that is like, no more than say 5 out of 10 pain levels. If 10's like fucking chop my leg off now, do you know what I mean? I'd say 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, 5, get my leg off. It's that painful. Like 5 or below, yeah, safe. You can play with that and you can carry on, even with braces or whatever. But for me, if he's still suffering, he can't even like you can just about walk about on it. I wouldn't do it. Yeah.
Burrow says, obviously, I've chipped my nail on the bottom of the bed. I feel this pain. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah, I sliced my shit on the edge of my bed, mate. I'm still feeling it now. So, yeah, man, it's.
But I do think he sits out this week. I think we go with Marcus Mariota this week. I think we have to. I really think we have to.
On a 50-50 guy, being me, I'm pro player. Being that obviously my job is to look after the player more than the club.
Yeah.
Because obviously my point is to get this back playing. I'm playing at a good level and not being just throwing it back in too early where he can re-injure himself. You know what I mean? Very easily. So if he's 50-50, I always say leave him out. If he's 50-50, leave him out unless you desperately need him. Like if it was a playoff game, yeah. I mean, I'd still tell the coach though, he shouldn't really be playing this game. You know that, right? No, I'll let them know straight. Do you know what I mean? You can play him, but you know the risks, yeah. And I'll tell you the risks of it. And that's what I'd say to the head coaches, and they they can either ignore me or they can respect my opinion, or they can do both. You know, they can go, yeah, fine, but I'm still going to play him. Okay, but at least they know the situation, and if he lasts only a few plays, you know what I mean, or one drive or whatever it is, and then he's done. I told you. Do you know what I mean? Like I told you, who's not ready to play, and you pushed him to play. So that's how I'd always be with Jaden here as well. And I think someone mentioned there Rod. He should sit out the weekend to protect himself, protect him from himself, because he will want to play 100%. If you're knocking on DQ's door saying, "No, I'm good to go, I'll be fine." No, I don't want no RG3 bullshit. And I understand as well. Like it's a hard thing for the player because the player's like, I'm the leader of the team. I should be there, even if I'm banged up. I should be starting. I should be there.
I'm a captain. I'm the quarterback.
I'm the leader. I'm the main guy. I get it.
And the face of the franchise. Yeah.
I totally get that kind of pressure and the determination and the kind of the attitude of certain players. Certain players can't wait to be. I'm off injured with a slight pull, and there's other guys who will play if they've got a broken leg. Do you know what I mean? Like there's just guys who will do that. There's some crazy mofos out there, and quarterbacks tend to be crazy ones. They can't take the hits. They're not conditioned to take the hits, but they're happy to still put themselves on the line to try and get the win. Do you know what I mean? To help his teammates win. And
look at Matt Stafford on his shoulders.
Yeah, I mean, I respect that from quarterbacks. You got to be slightly crazy to be a quarterback, to be fair. You got to know that these guys are going to fucking hit you as hard as they can. Do you know what I mean? And they will take your head off if they can. And, you got to stand there and throw. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of balls to play.
Good question from Deluxe here. He says, thoughts on Mariota? Are people too high on him based on performance against lower level teams last year? And Will made a point to this really that feeds off it. He said, this is the best 2-game stretch to rest Jaden in our schedule. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it. Yeah, I mean, and the 2 Marcus Mariota revenge games against former teams. Falcons coming up and obviously Raiders where he's played for as well. So I would say if it's going to take Jaden 2 weeks to get back, then we have to suck it up and let this happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I would rather he had 2 weeks off and rested, rehabbed.
I would.
Got better.
I would.
And then that 2 games
that's
isn't
the best.
2 games isn't going to be that bad early in the season.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to end your season. It's not going to end your season.
As you said before, if you're 9-8. And it's like, oh Christ, I need to win these 2 games to get in the playoffs.
Yeah,
you're gonna play.
Yeah, you might risk them. Yeah, you'll risk them. But yeah, because the thing is as well. See, this is why it's so difficult sometimes. Because I mentioned about the mentality of the player, and then you also got the mentality of the coaches as well. Because obviously they want to look after you as well, but they also want to win, and they need to win. And I understand everything's about winning, and because there's a lot less games in the NFL compared to say soccer, where you can afford to lose a couple more games. You know what I mean? You can't really afford to lose too many games in the NFL. You know what I mean? As you know, so every game's more magnified because there's so little of them in a season. But yeah, it's a tough one because the player's going to want to play. and DQ's going to have to is going to say no, or it might piss him off. But I think sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and say with 2 weeks here. Again, those two teams you mentioned, they are revenge games for Mariota.
Yeah. I
think that might be the way to go. I mean, it might have just come at the right time. This if you're going to get an injury to Jade, it should be now. If it was later on, then I'm screwed. Do you know what I mean? So, I think we should leave him 2 weeks out personally, and start Mariota.
I think so too.
Obviously, we'll have to go off what he says, what he does in the first game. If he's dog shit, then obviously we're going to have to go back to Jade probably quicker than we think. But yeah, because that's the thing. You see, too high on him. I mean, to be fair, all you can go off of the looks is what he played like last time. Do you know what I mean?
And he was good. He was decent.
He was good. He was well better than average. He had solid performances.
And I think Cliff's system sets him up, and I think he's used to this system: high tempo, fast pace. Mariota was always the quarterback that was running it in for the Raiders. Do you know what I mean? He was doing little trick plays here and there. When I saw him, playing in that respect. But I look at this team now, and I think was he better moving and we were in rhythm, we were in a flow, whereas at the moment it's been very stagnant, hasn't it? And we haven't necessarily broke out anywhere. I mean, Rod says here, is he the best backup quarterback? I don't think so. I probably think he is.
He says there a better backup.
Oh, is there a better? Sorry. Maybe not. Maybe he is the best backup quarterback out there. I mean, look at what's happened to quarterbacks, though. They're going down like flies. I mean, who would have thought Bengals versus friggin', Minnesota was like, Browning versus Carson Wentz? I mean,
week 3.
Exactly. You want to see Burrow against friggin' JJ McCarthy, don't you? And then you've got Tua, who's woeful and is potentially injured. Justin Fields is injured. Loads of quarterbacks out there that are injured at the moment.
And why is it? Why are they getting hurt?
Offensive lines
take the hits.
And
they're not conditioned to take it because they can't.
And offensive lines have been shit.
Well, that's another thing. But the thing is, though, it's like anything. Like a standard quarterback who's not been his body's conditioned to be hit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even a standard hit, even if you're just a standard tackle, can knock the guy clean out or hurt the guy's shoulder, or what I mean, because they're just not conditioned to take the hits. AR-15 is like absolute beast, but gets hurt every 5 minutes.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Danny Dimes out there doing.
Danny Dimes looking legit, man. I mean, I can't believe it. But
maybe it was just the Giants, but fuck the Giants anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, Danny Dimes, man. I think they were the only team up to like the last drive was they scored in every single drive, 2 games.
I know. So what do you think? What do you think we need? Let's just assume then that Marcus Mariota is starting. What do we need to do to win this game, Scouse?
Well, first of all, we got to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Difficult without Neckler out. Yeah. Mariota's going to have to run. He's got to use his legs a lot, I think, in this game. But be smart with it. Don't get hurt. Do you know what I mean? I think, obviously, he was got to try and get some separation. Terry's got to step up a little bit. Not going to lie. Defense have just got to start getting some fucking plays in, start getting some turnovers. I mean, Geno Smith can't run anymore. You know what I mean? Like he's not
He's
as mobile as he used to be. Yeah,
he is a statue.
So, and it's him. You can't hit any quarterback. Do you know what I mean? So if they can't produce any turnovers this week, I'll be like, mate, this defense ain't it at all. You know what I mean?
Completely agree. And there's not a lot else other than that I think is the keys to the game.
You got to double up on the Crosby as well every time, no matter who he's playing up against. Even if
that's tough. Who in your opinion?
I know for a fact. I mean, if you're what's his name? Who's the head coach there now?
Pete Carroll.
I mean, defensive guy. You know what I mean? You know that he's going to go, Crosby, you're going up against the Rook. 100%, man. Even if he's not used to being there, he's still going to go there because
easy work.
Yeah, I'd say you've got no Bates, best blocking tight end in the league. I mean, you've got Conley with help from Allegretti, or you've got McNichols, who's pretty solid pass pro, however, got a hamstring problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like Crossy Merritt ain't it on pass protection. That's the reason why he doesn't get all the snaps at the moment.
And on blocking as well. He's
that's what I'm saying. He's not legit. He's not good on pass pro. So this is why it's like we don't have a great pass blocking running back who can actually be, you might play on second down rather than third, or you see what I mean? Because we had Eckler who was solid with that, but now it's game over. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's there's definitely some matchups that they can take advantage of. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely, but we can take advantage of matchups too. And looking at this, Will's right. Gino has 4 interceptions in 2 games already. Ball is life. Better show up. Agreed. Rod says bring Kinlaw inside. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Someone for me who needs to step up and have a big game is Ben Sinnott. We need a Ben Sinnott breakout game.
I just need him to actually get more than 3 snaps.
Well, he's going to have
He
to.
doesn't get on the field.
But he is now. He's going to have to because Bates isn't there.
Yeah, but he can't block shit. That's isn't it?
He's not. He's better than. He's better blocking than Yankov, and that's all we've got. It's it's a worry.
The scheme that Cliff has got to sort out here has got to be like loads of kind of like West Coast type offense. Real short passes, quick slants. All those type of things. Terry's great at slants, but they don't give him the ball in slants. I don't get it. So they should be using that a lot more.
Debo the same.
Because people are going to get onto the end around that we're going to use the Debo.
Oh yeah,
or the jet sweep. They're going to see that a mile off. That might be like the first or second play of the game will be a jet sweep to fucking Debo. Like, you can call it already. Like, I'm like a defensive guy. I'm going, I know he's going to do that. And they're going to stop him in the backfield, So this is why it's like, we are struggling, especially with these injuries that have happened as well. And, it's not it's not good. It's not good. I mean, I think we still should win this game, but it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be tight this game. Really do.
What's your prediction?
I think like 18 to like 14 or 18-15, something like that. I really do think it's going to be
a low scoring
game. Low scoring game. No Jaden. Half his weapons are gone or banged up. No Brown banged up. No tight end blocking. No tight end receiving. If Ertz might be available, but it's going to be down to Ertz and Terry really. I think to do something. Jalen Lane, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get from Jalen Lane, so it's kind of. Yeah, and McCaffrey, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, these guys aren't scaring anybody. Do you know what I mean?
I'm going 23-10 win. That's where I think we're at.
You really think we're going to win by
13?
2 scores?
Yeah, easy.
Mate, Gentry's going to run all over us.
He might do. They might run the ball. You might be right, but we'll see. I believe in our defensive front that we can stop a running back. I believe in that. But I also think that we might get some points off defense this weekend. So it'll be quite interesting to see what.
You think we get a turnover? You think we get a turnover points on defense?
I mean, the defense might turn a ball over, which would leave us in good positions. Is where I'm thinking. So then,
some turnovers. Hey, I'm happy with any turnovers because we're not producing any. We're not even getting close to making any. So yeah, anything like that would be useful, man.
Agreed.
We're going to need something like that because
we're going to need something. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, we're going to need a spark from somewhere because who are we going to get it from? It's normally Jaden. It's normally an Eckler return, or it's normally it's something. And those guys are probably not going to be playing. So it's down to who's going to really show up and go, okay, this is going to be the standout moment. This is going to be the spark that we need. And there might be a guy on defense to say maybe create a turnover. Maybe it is Luvu. Maybe he finally shows up. We just don't know.
We're done.
And that's why that's what's so worried. Like, as a fan, a bit worrisome. You know what I mean? Because you just don't know where you're coming with it. You're thinking this team should be better than it was how it played last week. And even against the Giants, we weren't on offense. We weren't good at all. Let's face it. No. And we were like, and now we don't have Jaden playing, or potentially not having Jaden playing. It's just difficult, man. It's just a difficult situation.
It is. We'll get into our fan questions then, mate. We've got a few here, which is great, and thank you for everybody who's still in there. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Please just give us a like. It helps the algorithm out. We appreciate you doing that. Cam McDonald here, he says he's also on the football pitch, so if you want to listen to a bit of Scottish football, go and give Cam a follow on, you can find him on Spotify, and you can find them on YouTube as well. He says, what are the biggest weaknesses now the roster with the recent injuries? Which is easier to overcome without bringing in a free agent? So where do you think we're weakest at, and which do you think is easiest to overcome without bringing a free agent in?
Well, I mean, we already have brought a free agent in because I was going
I
to
know
say
we
where
have,
Wise was. So,
Yeah,
you know,
Edge,
construction
yeah.
as Wise went down. It's like, yeah, that position needs to be filled. So it's, yeah, I mean, where we still weakest. I mean, we're weak across the board, mate. I mean, you know, I say our fit. If all our players were fit, like all our starters were fit, yeah, it's quite a decent team. But then you start going into the kind of the backups. You know, it's just a big drop off. The only place that it isn't really a big drop off is probably corner or DB at the moment. Everywhere else, like if those guys are those starters aren't starting, we've got nobody. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's, you know, we got really bang average offensive linemen. We got really bang average edges. You know what I mean? Like it's one of them. It's just like, oh, it's just not great. But
Just had my dad phone me from Gran Canaria. Sorry about that. So apologies.
Oh, okay.
I was like, "What's he doing? Calling me on WhatsApp?" I thought, "What's happening there?"
probably
He's
calling
worked
it
out
Newcastle
technology.
losing.
Yeah, he's worked out technology, hasn't he? So there you go. It is what it is.
Yeah, he's probably just called you because Newcastle got beat by Barca.
Did they? What was the score?
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah,
Oof,
so it scored them.
Interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, to answer the question, there, it's still the same stuff.
It's
still
exactly the same area,
place.
isn't it?
Yeah, and I say
Receiver.
Preston Smith will help us. I think he will help us. I think he was definitely a decent signing that is still available during the season. But
Was it a Rashford goal? Was it? Wow.
Rashford. Yeah.
Oh,
Rod,
That's not
Bates is going to be out, mate. He's not going to play. Bates is going to be out, so you're going to struggle there.
yeah.
Look, what difference in off-season makes a run defense? Yeah, I suppose, but also, you know, I say you have to make a lot of changes to that D line to actually make that happen. You know, and it says here, Will mentions that Jenny's got 80 yards on 30 carries, so it's obviously not a great. That's not a
great return so far.
It's not a great yards return, but you know for a fact though, who has the breakout games? It's always against us. It's always
absolutely
against us. That's why I'm picking him.
Hello.
I've got Genty in my fantasy teams, and he's starting.
Have you really?
Even though I don't want him to, obviously thinking, oh, we're okay against the run. No, he's going to be. He's going to get his career game. He's going to get 150 yards, fucking 2 TDs, something stupid like that. But, yeah.
I think what Rob was mentioning there, the hardest to replace is Bates.
Yeah. I mean, I think for what he does, we don't have anybody else like him. Not even like in the same league, really. Of
no one in the same breath, is it really? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Because Dates isn't a good blocker, really. We know he's receiver. Sinnott at receiver. He's working on his blocking, but that's the reason why he doesn't get any game time, because he's shit at blocking. Ryankov is average at blocking.
Special teamer.
And he's special teamer. And so, as I'm saying, so you're running out of ideas now. You're thinking, who have we got here? We're going to play Trent Scott at fucking tight end. Do you know what I mean? Because you're running out of fucking ideas. Like, what are you going to do? To be fair, you might even see that. You might even see him play there.
Tackle eligible. Tackle eligible.
Tackle eligible, but not use him as in the pass game, but actually use him as help outside blocker to help Conley. You just don't know. Jesus. You just don't know what the situation is. That's how bad it can be. It's craziness.
So James put us a question in. We've probably answered it already, James, but to be fair, you are in the chat, so thank you for being here. He said, even though JD5 is limited, even if he's limited and he's cleared to start on Sunday, should we sit him for 1 week to recover properly, play Mariota, or is it too high risk not to have your best players playing?
Yeah, I think we kind of mentioned it, but I think he should be sat, I think, personally.
I think so too.
Totally save himself from himself, like I think Rod mentioned. I think that's a way of doing it. And don't forget as well, you know, is a 70% Jaden better than 100% Mariota?
Probably.
See what I mean? Like, we know there's a drop-off from quarterbacks, we know that, but is it that much of a difference if you're playing the 70% Jaden again rather than 100% Mariota? Because they're both very similar quarterbacks.
For me, mate, I just don't want to see a 70% Jaden.
Yeah, exactly. He shouldn't even be on the field at 70%. Yeah, you see what I mean? So, and that's the whole point for me. It's like, because you understand, if I play Jaden, well, I'm going to get this level of play, and then if I play Mariota, I might get this, I might get this. But the idea is that when someone's like really banged up like this, it's not the levels between the backup of Mariota and Jaden. It isn't that much when Jaden's banged up. Do you know what I mean? So that's why for me, I'll be starting Jaden, and I'll be starting Mariota. Sorry,
I would too.
Yeah.
Andy Burrows, who is in the chat with us, if you haven't subscribed, go and follow Commander Bunker. They do some good stuff over there.
Two goals to Rashford.
2 goals for Rashford, wow. And also, obviously, as I mentioned earlier in one of our sponsors, Dunstable Town FC's Talk of the Town podcast. Go and give them a follow. Andy says, is wide receiver depth a worry with Terry not firing yet? And also, Rod had a little bit on this. He said, what about Luke?
Well, yeah, it is the depth.
The depth's poor.
It is.
The depth
poor.
is poor. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude to Noah Brown here. It was a good off-season signing to Noah Brown. I thought, you know what, this is a good pickup. And he did a serviceable job. He was a magnet for flags, which was brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Pass interference calls, great stuff. But he's never healthy.
No.
He's had injuries throughout his time with the Texans, and then he's came here and he's had several injuries. Always been on the injury report. He's out with the pointy end of the ball hits him in the fucking liver, and he's lacerated his liver. It's like
that's unlucky, that, but yeah.
I know it is, mate. It's totally unlucky.
Yeah,
I get that, but you just think, Jesus, man,
100%.
Come on.
And that's the problem. You can't count on him. You can't rely on him.
You cannot.
And that's the problem you've got.
And then you're laid bare with a guy who really, as a rookie, didn't do anything in Luke McCaffrey because he wasn't probably given the ball and wasn't expected to do much. But
exactly, he was always the fourth read. He was always the fourth read on the pitch.
What was he, a third-round pick? Second-round pick? I can't remember.
Third rounder, yeah. I think it's 100, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, pick 100. Yeah. And then you've got Jalen Lane, and it's like, you're a rookie. Come on,
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
What
you're relying on Jalen Lane. You've got some upside, but you don't know what you're going to get with him yet.
You don't.
Jane, you know, McCaffrey, you mentioned there, say he didn't do much last season, but again, he wasn't targeted that often.
No.
So you don't know what you really got with him yet. Doesn't have many drops.
Debo and Terry, that's it.
You got Debo and Terry, and you know Debo's not a true receiver like that, like
a burner. A burner. He's not a deep.
Yeah, a burner. He's not an outside guy. You know what I mean? Like, I know he can do a little bit, but it's not his main game. He's a gadget guy, you know. So depth wise, you're damn right. It's not there. I think we brought up who's the guy who scored, who did a good in the Giants game.
Chris Moore.
Yeah. So they brought. Here we go. I just mentioned Chris Moore's moved up, but again, Chris Moore. Oh yeah, I'm a cornerback for fucking Las Vegas. Oh yeah, I'm terrified of this dude coming up. I'm terrified of this guy going up against me. Obviously not. Do you know what I mean? So these guys are not scaring anybody. To be fair, I've had to take a chance on OBJ.
Do you know what? He's free agent. Yeah,
he's a free agent, and he says he's feeling healthy for the first time in 3 years. So, you know, maybe take a shot on that. Do you know what I mean?
Odell Beckham Jr. Jeez. Well, what did they move the $14 million from Larry Tunsil's contract for?
Probably to give it to buddy fucking Preston Smith.
No, he can't.
I don't know how much he's getting, to be fair, but
it can't be anywhere.
He did get a big contract though at Green Bay. I'll give you that.
He didn't get much at the Steelers, that's for sure. So you know,
and he only had 1 year though, and then he got binned off. Yeah, so look, so he only cut Jane's first TD. He did. Trent Scott, he did. The own another ball. Yeah, unlikely. But yeah, man, I'm saying like so. Yeah, to answer Bo's question, yeah, our depth is poor. Our depth is really poor. And say, as I mentioned before, if everyone was healthy and everyone was firing, then it actually doesn't look too bad. But when you got Terry, who's not been at 100, like 100% sharp, should I say, and then you've got Debo, who's the only one doing anything. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think we see like a Ja'Cory Brooks or a Jacoby Jones called up from the practice squad?
Really? No, I think they're both gaff. To be fair, do you know what really pissed me off? Mitchell Tinsley.
I know.
He's catching one-handers for fucking the Bengals this year.
I know.
Come on. Why don't we keep him and give him a shot? Because he seems to be able to do it in game day. He seems to be able to do it. What's happening here?
KJ Osborne's still available. Oh. Wow, God, no. Not again.
Man. Fucking gaff, man. Like, these guys are shit. And we know there's slim pickings out there. We know there's not a lot out there at the moment. But, I mean, I'd kick the tires on OBJ. He's not going to be the wide receiver one like he used to be, sure. But, he could definitely serviceable wide receiver two for a few games while Brown gets fit. Do you know what I mean?
Who's the guy who signed for the 49ers that we were in for that came for a tryout here?
Yeah. I know you're on about.
Yeah.
He got cut from the Pats, didn't he?
Yes, Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne won it. That would have been Kendrick Bourne.
Oh,
yeah.
Kendrick Bourne. Is it Kendrick Bourne?
Kendrick Bourne. Yeah, he's gone to the 49ers. He came to went to the 49ers and he went to us and he decided to go to the 49ers. I mean, that would have been an okay depth signing probably, but I mean, I don't know.
If we can get that deal over the line.
Ooh, hello.
If it's not like ridiculous compensation, that'd be interesting.
We'll give you what we got for Brian Robinson. What was that? A sixth rounder? Was it a sixth? Was it a fifth?
Wasn't it? Fifth or sixth?
We'll give you what we got for Brian Robinson. Cheers. Yeah, we'll take DJ Moore.
Well, don't forget that DJ Moore is getting paid quite a bit, so his compensation will be low.
But,
you know what I mean?
But we've got 14 million in cap.
I'm not saying we couldn't afford it. I'm just saying because he's got a high cap hit or whatever. You can trade him. You can get him probably quite cheap.
Trade him for less, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. Seventh rounder, mate, or swap of picks.
Swap of picks. Yeah, exactly. I'll give you a jugs machine and a packet of Skittles. Simon Thurston. Simon Thurston, shout out to Simon, really good guy, massive Commanders Redskins fan. He said, "Is it unfair that some fans are already questioning Cliff, not running the ball, and Joe Witt not blitzing much as coordinators, and also DQ as head coach, timekeeping and preparation for the team, and Peters as GM for roster being so old?" And he said, "I know it's a lot to take in there. Sorry to break it down like this, lads, but what are your thoughts?"
Well, let's break it down then. So there's 3 questions there, isn't there? In that
there is, yeah.
So start off with the first one. So
which is it unfair for fans to question Cliff? No.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't think it's unfair for it to question Cliff.
No, it's not unfair.
Poor.
No.
I think it's been poor. The offense has been stuttering, and it's not worked so far.
Yeah. See. This is why I think we mentioned it a few weeks back about preseason that it should be taken a little bit more seriously from starting offenses.
Yeah, you know more reps needed.
Yeah, more reps gives you that kind of that the chemistry again, etc. And obviously, I know we don't do that, and a lot of the teams don't do that as well. So, but I think we could be hitting the ground running. We'd be a lot sharper than everybody else if we actually did use a preseason game fully for an offense, a first team, at least for a first half or something. Proper game, proper intensity. But anyway, so most of the offense is going to be rusty anyway. And then these guys should know Cliff's offense. He's been there last season. Do you know what I mean? But it does feel like it has regressed. It does feel it's worse than it was last year.
So do you think it's on the players, or do you think it's on the play calling? Because I think not running. I think
both, isn't it?
I think neglecting running the ball. Four plays for Bill the other night. I mean, I'm looking at that going, hang on a minute, what are you playing at here? End around, jet sweeps. It's not working. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we had this problem in the first few games with Cliff last year, where it was the same old perpetual. What are we doing here? This doesn't look like a good offense. Then it suddenly.
Don't forget.
Both broke out.
Yeah, but don't forget though, at the start of last season, we usually all ripping me saying we got a top 5 offensive line. Remember? Because it was looking good. And our guys were running through and B-Rob was getting gaps like this at the start for the first 5 or 6 games, and after that they fell off like a cliff. Why is that? Because they weren't that good. People found them out quite quickly. And then look towards the end of the season, we had 0 gaps. There was actually nothing to be seen. It was just a fucking big wall of players.
It was, yeah. So and it ended up being a top 10 fucking offensive line, and you're like, hang on a minute, what? How's this worked?
And again, because of probably the short passing game as well. So Cliff was scheming well at times in games last season, but it was mostly on Jaden, though. Let's face it. This year, because Jaden's not been on it. Cliff's got a scheme better, and he's not.
Doug's probably got a point here, Scouse, as well, saying losing the Ravens joint practice, because of the Monday game hurt. Yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? Extra joint practices. We think we only had 1 last year, but having 2. No, we had 2 last year. It was Ravens and Miami. So maybe it was the same. It should have been the same this year. I mean, losing that joint practice.
Well, we had the Pats, didn't we? Didn't we have the Pats?
We did.
We had the Pats this year.
Pats this year, but last year we had Miami and
the Ravens, didn't we?
Ravens, yeah. That's
because remember Mark Andrews being a dickhead to Revo.
That's right,
remember?
Yeah, that's
correct. Launched him. Yeah,
that's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So definitely didn't help, man. I say these training practices, I get it. It's not on game conditioned, as in like it's not cameras on, it's not media
But it's somebody
on,
else
it's
to
not all that.
tackle, isn't it? You know what I mean? And it's live hits.
Yeah.
And that's
the
kind of
thing.
what you want.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. You do need that. You need those things. Like, that's why I prefer to use the preseason. I'd rather use the preseason properly rather than trying to get these special practices on the side. I understand you don't want to give away some of your game plans, but the thing is, even in preseason, that's the whole point of trying new players.
Of course, it is.
You know what I mean? It's it's to say, oh well, Cliff's offense is going to look like this year. No, it's not. Because first game is going to be like back to the way it was, bang, and they're going to be sharp on it. But it hasn't worked out that way.
Joe Witt.
Yeah, again, we've all been having a go with him already in this game, in this pod today. So,
Agreed.
you know, Witt's definitely on the hot seat. I mean, Cliff, 100%. To be fair, at the moment, Cliff's not on the hot seat, but he has done a lot better. He's done a lot better than Joe Witt has. You're going to compare the two from last season and this season still, even though this season we've been pretty shit on offense, not going to lie. But then that's the thing, you see, it's kind of a, what do you do with that? And what was the...
Is DQ as head coach, timekeeping and preparation for the team? I just think because it was such a short week, Thursday night football,
it's difficult, and you got to travel as well. I think it's a 4 hour. It's a 4 hour flight from DC.
Yeah, but then this is the funny thing as well. Raiders are coming off a short week this week, and they're coming across freaking country, coast to coast. So we should really have the advantage here. We're at home.
But short week though, exactly. Yeah, well, compared to us, it's a short week.
Rob, thank you for being with us, mate. Appreciate you. We're just about to get into your questions, buddy.
Yeah, so it's that. So they played Monday night, didn't they?
They did, Monday night, yeah.
And they're going to play Sunday. So their game is 6. Okay, 6 days, even though the time difference and whatever.
Yeah.
And we play Thursday, so we've had like a mini bye. Now we've always started sluggishly as well after a mini bye or bye.
Off mini buys, or buys,
yeah.
We have.
So again, we're going to look rusty again at the start of this game. So that's where LV could actually become, in the game early. If they get up early in the game, then it's like, that changes scripts again. See what I mean? So this is why this is a delicate game. This one,
I know,
it really is.
Do you think this? Go on, Will. Yeah, you've got Will's question there.
Now, Will just mentions here, don't play one in pre-season, scared of injury, and then lose have your starters in week 2. Exactly. So that's the whole thing. It's like, what ifs, but you got to minimize the risk. But the thing is, like we've mentioned before, it isn't just a quarterback that needs to be conditioned for the hits. It's got to be your big boys up front. It's got to be your receivers. Everyone's got to be ready to be hit. Do you know what I mean? And if you're not doing it, because let's face it, in practice, you're very rarely touching anybody.
Padded practice is a...
Yeah, padded practices ain't the same. And they're told not to hit you hard. No, they're told 50% hits, max. And if you hit them too hard, you get, like, basically scolded by the coaches, don't you? Do you know when you get fined and all the rest of it? So actual practice, you're not getting the hits. Then you go for the actual main practices against other teams. Yeah, you get real hits then. But if you only get one game, like you mentioned, because Ravens cancelled on us. See what I mean? And Ravens actually used the preseason more than we do, as in for their first starters.
They did. Look at the Bengals. The Bengals used starters all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, they played against us.
The Bears,
Bears
were the same. Yeah, Chase did too, and you're thinking, that's a bit weird.
And that's Burrow saying, I want to be playing live game with receivers.
DQ, he's come into question, obviously, from a lot of the fans with his timekeeping and prep for the team. That's part and parcel of having that short week. And the last bit you put on here as well, Simon, was Peters as the GM for having an old roster. I don't blame Adam Peters at all for any of this having an old roster. I think this is a legacy holdover from Ron Rivera. He's had terrible picks, which we've got none. Basically, not. I mean, was it like 5 people left on the team from the Ron Rivera era? There's hardly any of them here. Yes, we have an old team, Simon, and I completely agree with you. It's one of the oldest teams, or if not the oldest team in the NFL. When you're signing people like Von Miller and even now Preston Smith, probably making it even older. But
32 years.
I know, but even so, Bobby Wagner in the backfield's getting old. Zach
Ertz
is old.
We got some old players. Zach Ertz is old. You know what I mean?
But what you have to hope for is these fellas on 1-year deals, that the draft class behind it comes up, rises and says, I can take that over. The likes of your Cahill, who was an undrafted free agent. Your Tyler Owens coming in, who's an undrafted free agent. Your Kane Madranos, who hasn't even suited up yet. Your Jordan McGee's, for crying out loud. No one's seen him. This is the sort of player who you're thinking, hang on, we need you guys to step up to prove that you are good enough as picks.
So is that a fault of Adam Peters?
Possibly.
If those guys aren't ready to step up yet. Do you know
Possibly.
what I mean? So
Ben Sinnott, Luke McCaffrey, we've talked about it, haven't we?
Yeah, we could.
But what are you expecting?
You could put some blame on Adam Peters, but again, the thing is for me is that when you've realised that you've got a quarterback like Jaden, and the way he played that first season was like, mate, we're in win now mode right now before we pay him.
And that wasn't,
and that's why, and that's
the case.
Changed everything. That's changed the ethos. That's changed the ethos of all of it. So you mentioned kind of like drafts, and yeah, great, and you want to bring up players through and to take over the old guys eventually. Yeah, sounds great, but at the moment they're not interested in that. They're interested in winning right now. Absolutely. Because they know they've got like 3 years left of Jaden's contract before they've got to pay shitloads out. So they know this is their window, this 3 to 4 year period. That is it, and they know after that they're going to be shafted because he's going to be on 70 mil a year. So they know.
If that's the case, you're going to get in recognised players.
Exactly, you're going to get in guys who can hit the ground running. That's the whole point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But our guys haven't hit the ground running. That's the problem. That's the problem at the moment. They've not performed, especially this season. They haven't. That got Green Bay. Giants game, meh. Green Bay game, dog shit.
Terrible.
Let's face it. You know what I mean? So, it's tough, man. It's tough. It is tough because I understand the way he's gone away from his normal way of doing it because, as you know, Peters is a draft guy. That's mostly his thing. You know what I mean? But he's realised, look, man, we've got major holes because Ron was shocking, like you mentioned, and then we need players now who can produce now, who're ready to play right now, and that's where they got to go out and get older guys, and that's why we're the oldest team in the NFL now. And so I understand. So I understand it. It's win now. This is why we got to hold them to a higher standard because we're expecting to win now. We're not like we're a young team. We're going to be doing a bit of this, a bit of that, loads of mistakes. No, we're meant to have an actual team ready to go out there and do the business. And
that's it.
That game against Green Bay wasn't it?
Listen, Jaden Daniels has produced people like. He's supposedly bringing people up to a standard to say you as a wide receiver can play better under me because I can bring you along with me, which is what we're told and led to believe that happened with people like Zacchaeus, with people last year, etc., etc.
Yeah, Jaden can make gold out of dog shit. Yeah,
exactly. But why? No, he can't. But why are people like Von Miller signing for this team? To chase a ring, because that's what he's doing. He's not signed for this team because nobody else wanted him. He's signing for this team because he's like, you know what? I'm here because I've got a chance to win something. Because I'm at the end of my career,
how good he is,
and I'm there. Zach Ertz, exactly the same. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not as if these guys aren't scratching around for a job. That some of them sometimes they are scratching around for a job. I'll give you that. But it's difficult, and I just think we are in win now mode
because they want to win. They want to win. They know we're in win now mode. They know they've got a good quarterback. They know they could do. Jaden's got the talent to get us there. He one game away from the Super Bowl for Christ's sake in his first season.
Yeah, I know.
So we know the guy's got the talent. He's good enough to get us to the bowl, good enough to win it. But the thing is, our team's got to. I say there's only so much a player can do. Like how many times have you seen quality quarterbacks who throw the ball directly on the numbers and the guy drops it?
Yeah.
You see it all the time. Like your receiver's shit. Like he's put it in the perfect place and he's still dropped it. There's only so much you can do as a quarterback. Do you know what I mean? Like you put it in the right place at the right time, in the nicest position for him to get it, and he still drops it. That's not you. That's him.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can raise a level of a receiver. You know what I mean?
True.
So
I know.
That's why you need elite receivers. Especially this is not a game of offense nowadays. Defense, you touch a player wrongly, you get in the fucking 15-yard penalty. So you know what I mean. So this is what it is. You touch the quarterback wrong, it's a 15-yard penalty, roughing. It's just like, come on, it is an offensive-driven league, and we've got piss poor offensive line. Yeah, we got talent, but it's not as a unit. It's not good. So. it's yeah, man.
I don't think the line. I don't think the line
That's
is piss poor. And the left-hand side of the line is very good. I think if you bring Cosme back in that, I think it will be very good.
yeah, but again,
I think, but we need to work.
raise it by 20% because he's
Yeah,
still
but
coming
we
back
need
in.
to.
He's still going to be sharp.
We need to look at Connolly on that side, and that is the problem at the moment.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the
Cosme will help him out a
weakness.
lot when he's back. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I think
but that's the weakness.
Connolly be a lot more solid once Cosme's in, but
Agreed.
don't expect Cosme to be the All Pro or
no,
the
he won't
Pro
be.
Bowler this season because they say he's still getting. It's going to take him this year to get himself back into real high level play again.
Rod's
No,
got
and
a few.
big dudes from ACLs may take a while, man. Even though they're
does.
fit, it takes a while to get back to the high level of play.
Rod's got a few questions for his mate to finish off. He said, "Well, I hope you guys had a great time in the States and lots to discuss. I know. For me, Mariota plays this weekend. Does Connolly play? Because he's obviously his play's been brought into question. He's had a rough start. He said Bates is a massive loss. Do you think Sint steps up this weekend?
Well, as you mentioned before, I think Sinner has to step up.
Yeah, because
No,
we haven't
he
got
really
any other
does.
options.
Yeah, we've got no other options. I mean, it's going to have to be a lot of plays out to the left, away from the right hand side. But again, teams will zero in on that. They know rookie got no good protection next to him. They're playing a backup right guard.
Back
They're going to attack all that area. It's just obvious. Like a blind man can see that. That's where they're going to go. You know what they're going to do. But can you
Everything's
stop
coming
it?
to the left. Everything's coming to the left. Or
It's coming to
Mariota's legs.
our attack's going to go to our left, and their defensive attack is going to go onto our right, their left hand side.
Correct. Yeah,
You know what's going to be that. And anyone with a brainstem knows that's what's going to happen. So how can you actually get around it? You know what I mean? And that's where Cliff's got to scheme it up well. You can't just be so obvious. Do you know what I mean? But then you can't be so stupid either by going to the right side, trying to be out thinking the thinker. You know what I mean? Where you cost yourself big problems. You cause yourself a quarterback injury. You cause yourself a fumble or whatever because you no protection on that right side. So it's a precarious thing.
And and that was seamless, that, because you've answered Rod's next question about. He's basically said Cliff needs to earn his dosh this weekend. Yeah, you're right. The last bit then from Rod, he says, does Preston Smith come straight into the starting lineup?
I don't think he'll start. I think he'll come on certain plays.
Yeah, I think he'll be situational.
He hasn't had a team. He hasn't had a team all off season, so you can't expect him to be. Yeah, he'll be fit, but he won't be match fit. So again, like I mentioned before, with other players, it's that he'll get certain scenarios where he'll come in. You're lucky to get maybe 10, 12 snaps out of him. I think this game, and then after that, he'll progress more as he goes along. When he gets a match up and knows the system well and all the rest of it.
And just to finish us off, remember, folks, it's Sean Hockley as referee this weekend.
Is it?
So expect Flag Central. It is going to be a flag-happy game.
That guy loves TV time, doesn't he?
He loves TV
really
time.
does,
Loves having his supposed massive arms in his short, tight fucking top. And he is one of the worst referees in the entire
check him
NFL.
for steads, mate. Check him for steads. It's rotted his brain.
Absolutely. Well, that just about does us, mate. Thank you, as always, Scouts, for joining me. Thanks, everybody in the chat, for getting involved. Deluxe, Burrows, Will, James, Ian, everybody who's been on here. We really appreciate you for being with us. Can't thank you enough. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Ask your nan to subscribe to us because we need the YouTube algorithm to get us out there. And look forward to another hopeful Commanders win. We'll wait and see, and we'll break it all down next week, mate.
Bye.